everyone. This episode of Calling Out with Susan Pinsky is courtesy of Native Path Hydrate. More about that at the break. Also, I'm here today with the psychic rebel Colby. She is a clairvoyant psychic medium. She is a regular here at Calling Out with Susan Pinsky. She's going to do readings for my guest, Leah, who I will introduce later. We don't want to give up too many details in advance. She is here in my apartment in New York City.
And it's beautiful.
Yes, thank you. Can everybody hear her, Kaleb? Want to make sure.
Yes. Sorry, yes. Yes. What was in my throat? Jeez. Yes.
We have a word today. We're calling it mishmagosh, but it's actually, as Leia would say, mishigosh.
Yeah, great. Mishigosh.
We have literally. Mine is the Goy version of mishigosh. Hers is the Jew version, and we have realized that if there was ever more chaos, it's never been this way before. But there's something in the air, so it means something good's coming. Spirits are here. We got confused. Everybody didn't know when it was, where it was, or every single person on my team and the clairvoyant medium didn't know where it was. So, but.
Oh, are you talking about the G-spot?
Yeah. Yes. So as you can tell, Leia is funny, and that's all the information I'm going to give you. You may also recognize her because she's famous. But Colby is the one that we really like to feature here. Oh, and also Robin, my producer's here, by the way. I don't know, should we show Robin? Robin, can you hear me? There she is.
She's there.
There she is. Okay. I can't see you on my feed. I'm watching you on my Rumble feed, which I love Rumble. Hey, everybody on Rumble. We're here. We have a Jesus person over there. We love Jesus too. Also, we're also on the Restream, which includes X, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever else you watch stuff. I think we're on TikTok too. Did you set that up today, Kaleb?
Soon. It'll start on TikTok soon. Yeah.
Okay. Fuck TikTok. I don't care anyways. The only good thing about TikTok that I've learned this week is that Candace Owen spoke about our show, and we'll talk a little bit more about that on TikTok. I'm very excited. So anyways, Colby, I want to say welcome, and I also want to say I love you, and I'm really glad you're here. And you're here as the Claire of the moment. We want you to tap into Leia. I want to find out
Leah.
where all this.
Her name is Leah.
Sorry. Leah.
And here I am sitting here not correcting her. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I only know because my sister's name is Leah also, and it's spelled the same way. So that's how I'm like, girl, it's Leah.
It's Leah,
you.
not Leia. God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get that straight. So anyway, she's here to listen to your vibes about her, and then we'll get moving and see where it goes. And then also, mid-show, we're going to have a visit from our friend Brian O'Shea to talk about true crime for a quick segment, and then take a caller. So let's get this party started. We're off schedule, but it's okay because it's going to work out perfectly. So here we go.
I think you know what, you guys, for whatever it's worth, not that I do this, I think today is a lunar new year. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Oh, it is definitely a lunar something. are all the moons
planets
lined
are
up
aligned.
in a row?
Yeah.
Or yeah, is this the year of the dragon or something? I don't know. What is it?
I think it's the year of the snake. And I only know that because I heard someone saying something about that, but I don't know. We're out of my professional expertise at the moment. But once we get to dead people and Leah's path, I'm on it.
Yeah, it was a snake or a dragon.
I hope
my granddaughter was just born. She's born in the snake, and that's good, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out. But okay. All right. So I'm going to let you. Okay. So basically, just to reiterate what we say every time, Leia and Colby have never met. I haven't given any information to Colby in advance about her. we threw shit together this week in such a lackadaisical way that nobody even had time to remember what time it was or when we're supposed to meet. So she just does everything psychically. And she will, anything that comes out of her mouth today will be done psychically. She doesn't research or do background checks. Unlike Brian, who's going to come on later, and he does background checks on everything. So we like to have like a little juxtaposition of experts. So here you go. I'm going to let you tap in Leah and get into her spiritual side.
Perfect. Yeah, I didn't have time to do a background check. I was on the ski slopes and had to get home to do a podcast. So, Leah, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Colby. So, are you open to anything that comes in, or is there any area you don't want me to go into?
No, I'm a pretty open person. So let's just let the entire internet know what's going on with me.
Yeah, I'm an open person as I close my hands together. But yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Are you ready? I know
I'm ready.
What's going to come out.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah. So a couple things that come in. You may see me doodling. It's just because thoughts are coming in. It's interesting. I mean, the first thing that I felt, Leah, was that I think on your path that you overcame adversity. And it just feels like your path hasn't been just as easy, like, here I am, everybody. It really feels like, I mean, maybe even where you grew up or how you grew up feels to have been a bit challenging, and you had to kind of find your way out of it a bit to kind of go, hey, I know my purpose. And it's interesting because I feel like you knew that purpose, or at least a sense of it, when you were really young. Like, I feel like it started to come in when you were so young. So I wonder if, too, you started to put on little acts and things even when you were young. Like, it just feels like I'm starting to kind of put a showcase out there, or and it's does that make sense so far, Leah?
It's all checking out so far, Colby.
Okay. So what's interesting, and again, I don't want to get, if I get too deep or I'm off target, you just tell me, okay?
No, you can go deep.
Okay, because that's what I
say to all my boyfriends.
You used it just feels like you used a lot of humor, I think, to cover up a lot of pain. And then, and
how could you tell?
And then through that, it's kind of interesting because I feel like now you're getting at a place where you're feeling I can relax and I can be more me. And it's okay that I'm funny, or it's okay. Like, you're more self-accepting of yourself. And I feel like that's really going to really help with the success even more. And I will say, I just feel like if we go into romantic relationships, they've just not been good. I just feel like there's been a lot of, in the past, a lot of, I think, just very disappointing partners. Now we may be stepping into someone better, someone who's taking care of you, someone who's supporting you. I feel like there's someone who is around you that really, I think, really for the first time has your back, and you trust them. Like, and that was not easy. This person worked hard for that. And you still don't let them off the hook easy. Yeah, you still don't let them off the hook easy. But you understand, that makes sense, so that this person is like really the first person who's had your back. You understand that? Does that resonate for you?
100% true.
And who just hasn't used, I just, again, I don't want to, but there's been a lot of past relationships where you've been lied to or used, or, that sort of thing. So moving forward, this person is very they have a very producer mind. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are working with you to create a show for you, to help kind of move things forward for you. I feel like they are part agent, part producer. They're not shy. I'm not 100% sure they're in front of the camera. They definitely feel like a more of a behind the camera sort of person that likes to put the pieces together for you. Does that resonate?
That all resonates.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Um, Now, here's the tricky part. I mean, this is actually fun. We're just going to go into why not? Because we have nothing
let's
but
do
time
it.
together today.
She's hitting every point there. That's good.
I really
I don't know
feel like
anything
Leah,
about your husband.
you're having children. Now, I don't think you have children yet. Am I correct with that? Let me
No,
go
I
into it. Just say yes or no.
I don't
no
think
kids.
I have. No kids yet.
Okay. So what's interesting is I feel like kids have been like off the radar, like no, absolutely not really on my path. No, thank you. But now it's like I definitely feel at least one kid is coming in, and it feels like you're just like it's going to be a whole routine you do, because it's going to be like, oh crap, this like how did this happen? I mean, it's obvious how it happened, but it's like it just becomes this whole thing of you surrendering and knowing that you are going to be a wonderful, wonderful mother, regardless of what anyone has told you growing up. Okay. Regardless of how people made you feel growing up, you're going to be nurturing, you're going to be kind, and this little baby is just going to be with you everywhere. It's really, I think it's going to feel like such a beautiful, beautiful blessing for you for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Have we tried to, have we talked about children? Are we trying?
We're not trying yet,
Okay. But we've
We're not
talked
there
about
yet.
it, correct?
but we've talked about it. He definitely wants a family.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to give it to him.
What about
I know.
you?
I want to be a dad. If he's the mom, I think it'll work.
Yeah. No, you're going to, the thing is I feel like, I just feel like, yeah, you're going to do this. And it's going to work out wonderful. And it's so strange, because had you not chosen him, I don't think you would have had kids. I think you would have gone through this lifetime without him. But there's something about him that really reassures you that you've got this and it's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's going to be a great dad one day.
And he doesn't let you, it's really, I love this guy. You could see how, I could see anyway, I don't know, but I could see how people would say inappropriate things to you or behave inappropriately. He absolutely, he will not tolerate it. He wants the utmost respect for you, and he really will say something. And he's not an aggressive person. It's just that's how protective he is of you. You understand that. Would that make sense to you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He feels also very successful. I feel like his success is just very successful, very I mean, listen, for you and me, it almost feels easy for him. So unfair, right? But for you, it's I feel like for you, the fact that he kind of holds everything up in that way is giving you that freedom to be more creative than you've ever been in your life. So I see you writing a lot. So I feel like you're writing a lot, you're putting things together a lot. I actually feel like you may be working on a screenplay. So have you started a screenplay or working on a screenplay? Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh.
So it feels really, the screenplay I see feels really good. It also feels very female empowered. And I'm not sure if that's just because you're writing it or it's got a lot of women in the cast. But it feels like it's a very female-driven power story. But it also feels funny to me. So I definitely think we've got some sense of humor in it. But it's not your typical comedy, I don't feel like. I actually feel like we've got some deep stuff in it we're tackling or looking at, which kind of sets it apart from some of the other shows that we've been seeing or movies. Does that resonate?
100%. There are two female leads, and it's a dark comedy. It's a satire.
Yeah. It feels, and these two definitely feel like partners in crime. So it feels, very interesting. These two, that they are the ride or die for each other. What's interesting is I wonder, I don't want to give too much away, but let me just say one thing, just so we can see if we're right, and then I'll stop talking about it. Okay. But I'm so curious. Okay. Is there a point in the movie where they either go against each other or one like stabs the other one in the back, so to speak? And then it flips the kind of storyline. Does that resonate at all in this story?
It's so crazy that you're saying this because I have two projects. One that's a comedy pilot where they're two peas in a pod and they have a bit of a falling out. And I first thought maybe that's what you were talking about, but the way that you're saying it,
but I'm probably blending both of them. But go ahead. The feature is
the feature that I'm working on right now, which is almost finished. There are two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
And they don't know it.
Yeah.
So they're besties and then worsties.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm bringing in both, to be honest. I feel like I'm bringing in both. But really quick, when I go to the same side of the besties and then worse, like this thing is so good. I mean, it is so raw. It's so dark. It's so and it's not cheesy female empowerment, right? You see some of those movies and you're like, oh, come on. This is like, this gets so, I know you've written it or it's almost done, but it really is such a mind game around it. I was going to use a different phrase, but it's a mind game around it. A lot of manipulation in it.
It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah. So I was going to say mind F, but so it feels.
You can curse around me, Colby.
I don't curse though on my readings.
I know. It's okay.
I know. Yeah. I'm a good girl.
Appreciate
it. But I feel like, your career path. So listen, having a family is not going to impede your career. I don't want you to kind of go, okay, well, wait a minute. I'm not going to be able to do this or that. Because you are and you will. And I definitely feel like having a child in your life will give you a sense of fulfillment that's really been missing, in all honesty. Like that complete and utter unconditional love. I don't feel like you've experienced other than with your partner. And yet when you have this child, you're going to be fiercely protective. Yeah, don't let someone tell you you're not going to be a good mom, because you're going to be an amazing mom, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll leave that. Is there any questions you have for me or anything you want to ask? Are you going to Europe, can I ask? Leah, I keep seeing a trip to Europe. Are you doing Europe within, I would say, a year? Within 1 year?
My husband lives in England.
Oh,
so I go back and forth to Europe all the time.
Okay.
And I'm about to start applying for my spouse visa so that I can work there legally and then be able to come back and forth.
I love it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. All right, good.
That's good. Right? She's spot on.
Very spot on.
Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
That was wild. It's interesting because I did often think that so many great things have happened for me in my career, but obviously we always want more. And I had this feeling that if I had kids now, that it would deter me. So this conversation has been very helpful.
Good.
I guess, is there any work coming to me this year that's not me outputting?
Yeah, it feels like I see an invitation coming to you to be part of, I want to say, like, it feels like a special or a group. So it feels like there's going to be a show that's going to be filmed. So it might be on stage and it's going to be filmed, but I feel like they're inviting you to be part of an ensemble somehow, or part of the group, part of the gig, so to speak. And that feels like it's this year. It feels like it's in motion, so you may get that invite fairly soon.
Whoa. Okay.
And it might not be till the fall. So the actual filming or event may not be till a little bit later in the year, but it's I feel like they're coming out now to get everybody on board.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so interesting. Okay.
And don't stop yourself from working in England, because I really feel strongly you can really build so strongly in England if you give yourself the opportunity to do so.
Okay. Wow, that's so interesting. I've had a lot of resistance to moving there, and we're waiting for my husband's green card to come through so that he could come here.
Okay.
But I do truly think that if I could work there, I would move there.
Yeah. It just feels like there's a lot of work for you there as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Good. I hope not. I hope not.
No, I love that for me.
Good.
Wow. Okay. So this is all good news. Does the stage filming that you see, does that feel recurring, or is that kind of a one-off?
This particular one I'm seeing feels like a one-off. It feels like it's in a theater, like a very, very large theater that has multiple people being showcased on it, that it will be filmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all. In fact, I really love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see the film that I'm writing? Do you see that getting into any of the major festivals?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like a given. Yeah. In fact, the film, I mean, really more of what I saw was it going to the public. So I feel like it's a film that will get to the public as well. So it may end up being through like not Netflix, but like it may go through a cable channel, not like an ABC, NBC, or CBS. It may go through one of those, but it definitely feels like it goes out to the public as well.
This is great news.
Yeah, it definitely feels really, it feels very original, which, there's a lot of storylines out there, but for some reason this feels so original to it that it's not single white female. It's like above and beyond what we're seeing or feeling or thinking.
I can't even believe you just said.
Why?
Because that was one of the comps, but it's with a twist, a huge twist. That's okay. Colby, I trust you with my life right now. My life is in your hands. Colby, am I getting a nose job or not?
Oh, I felt like I really feel more now.
I can't breathe. Would it kill them to fix my deviated septum and just?
Yeah, what I was going to say was, but what I was going to say is, it feels like if you're opening it up, but don't be really cautious. Don't change your nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't.
Looks good to me.
You might be like tempted,
Beautiful.
right? But I feel like don't change it.
Yeah. You don't want to get one of those.
I mean, it's my
holes.
birthright as a Jewish woman to think about it at least.
Yeah, but you don't want to get one of those ones where your nose hole is like
oh
sticking
no,
out,
I would never want that.
I mean, they have better techniques these days. But the other day, I saw a newscaster on Channel 4 during the fires, and it's like you could see into her soul. Her nose was so. Like,
oh no, not an umbrella nose.
No,
Poor
it was
thing.
terrible. But we have a couple of mentions on the YouTube side. Dexter wanted to know if you're the eldest child.
Me?
Yes.
No, I'm the baby.
Okay.
Do I give eldest child energy?
I guess.
Wow, I love that for me because
it's an intuitive observation, but he was wrong. Sorry. And also, somebody said you do great in England, but England has awful speech laws, and it makes her or he want to get a name change.
Interesting.
So yeah, that's the only thing. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I gotta admit, I have heard that there's a lot more a lot more laws against things there than we have here in the United States. So,
But then they have free healthcare. So, it's like you take it's a grain of
healthcare.
salt. Everything's with a grain of salt.
but somebody said you could challenge the free speech laws in UK in a way that they can't label as bigoted. So, thank you,
Okay.
Dexter. But Dexter was wrong about you being the oldest child, but she or he is trying. I'm assuming Dexter is a boy's name. But anyways, I don't ever assume anything.
And Colby, do you have do you speak to the other side at all?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You wanted me to connect to someone on the other side for you?
Well, I mean, since we're here,
Let's talk to some dead people.
I just haven't cried enough recently. No, I never I only grew up with one grandparent, and I never met the rest of them. And I guess I always just wondered
if they're there.
Around.
So here's what's interesting, because I wrote down, so I'm going to start with a grandfather actually for you. So because
great.
I felt like there's a grandfather. So this is the grandfather with the grandmother that you have not met. So this is the pair that you have not met. And there's something about it where I wonder if they may not have been in the United States, or they may not have made it to the United States. So do you have a set of grandparents that didn't make it to the United States? Would that resonate?
So my dad's dad was born in Russia.
Okay.
He did make it to the States, but he wasn't born here.
Okay, got it. Because I feel like this couple, they come in together. So this couple would have been married. They would have been married for a long period of time together. It just feels like it was so challenging for them. Like I'm feeling a strong sense of survival, like a strong sense of things. Just, yeah, it almost, it's very weird, because it might have been like when they were younger, they had their like village and things were great. And then as they got older, it feels like they went through this enormous amount of turmoil, trauma. And it really caused one of them. I feel like one of them passed younger than the other. One would have passed more at a younger age than the other. Would that make sense around them? Does that resonate between? Okay. And but the cool thing is, I feel like I want to go with your grandmother real quick. So this is Dad's mom, okay? And I'll tell you what, I wish, so she's the one you didn't get a chance to meet. Is that correct, Leah?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Are you named after your grandmother? Is that correct? It feels like you're named after someone. No, you're not. Okay. You're not named after a family member. I just want to make sure.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Will you do me a favor and just I know you know your name, but will you just double check it to make sure it wasn't a middle name for them? Or
Yeah.
you mind trying that for me?
Or your middle name is in a name of theirs.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now, but my
okay.
middle name was supposed to be my first name, and my parents switched it at the last minute. But
Okay.
I don't know. Their names were really specific, like old school names. And I don't think I was named after anyone. I'm just thinking right now if there was any like letters
Mom's still
or anything.
in the living though, correct? Ask Mom.
Yes.
Ask her. Just
Okay,
text her and ask her. Just say, hey, listen, do we have enough? Who was I named after? Just let's have fun with it. My first or middle name. Okay, my first or middle name. Who was I named after? And let's just see. Why not?
She's either going to call me immediately or text me, is something wrong? Hold on. We'll see. Okay.
That's okay. Don't panic, Mom. Don't panic.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
We don't want her to panic. But there's just something connected to a name. So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. But I feel like with your grandmother, your dad's mom, this is a lady who definitely had to work to help make ends meet with people. I feel like she was very hands-on with the work she did. So she would have used her hands to make clothes or make boots or really create everything around her. So do you know that, or is that something you wouldn't know?
I don't know if I would know, but I do know 100% for sure they had a hard life.
They did. And just so you know, I want you to realize when you see butterflies, that is her around you. So she will send you butterflies to let you know that she is with you and that she's around you. Okay. And I
have
feel
butterflies on my
like,
shirt,
Oh my God.
I feel like she gives me a sense of them very much protecting you, really protecting you from the other side, just kind of holding you up, giving you that light, giving you that love. So even though this lady should have been broken, she should have been broken with what she went through. She was so full of love. She was so warm. And even if she didn't always know how to show it or communicate it, because there might have been some communication things, she definitely gives me the feeling of happy to see her family, her lineage moving forward, growing on. So that was really important to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where were you
And
from?
you got
Where
to
were your
meet
family
mom's.
from?
I think you got to meet mom's mom, your grandmother. Is that who you got to meet? Is that correct?
Yes.
But she's now in spirit. Is that correct? Like, I feel like
Yes.
she's now on the other side. Now she's a different, so I know you may not remember her a whole lot because I feel like you would have been a little on the younger side, I feel like, when she passed, but she really gives me the sense of lighter energy than the other grandmother. So I get a sense of a lighter energy, a more fun energy, an effervescent energy that I feel around her. And I also feel like a sense of, I think, style or color with her. So either she liked a lot of colors, liked a lot of style, always kind of stylish, that sort of thing. Would that resonate for that grandmother?
Absolutely. She was
Good.
she always had her nails done. She would always say, pretty girls have
that's
pretty
what it
nails.
feels like.
Yeah.
And she had
Cute.
lots of rings.
And her-
Do they have
And
any
her
messages
lips.
for her?
I just feel like,
Yes.
and do we connect to a rose or a name Rose, Leah? Or Rosary, Rose Marie?
Okay, so my grandma's name was Rhoda.
Okay, that I'll take it. That's what it. Okay, thank you. I will take it. So, and that's the grandma mom's mom, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's her. Okay,
That's a
so
hit.
she
Ruh-roh.
really
Yes.
wants to pop in because she feels like she just adored you. She just absolutely adored you. And she loved to work on you like you were a little doll. Like she loved to just play with you as if you were one of those hair dolls. Remember those? She's like doing your hair, play with you. And it's cute too. I don't know if you remember, but I think you'd go in and because she would wear perfume. So I feel like you wanted to either put her powder puff or her perfume on. And she just loves you. And she just wants to tell you that
Powder puff.
she is so happy. She's so happy that you have love in your life. And she
How old
really
were
wants
you?
to let you know how happy she is that you have love in your life and that she sees this amazing partner for you.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Yeah, I was 14 when she passed.
14.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
kind of where I was getting. Yeah, that's the feeling. So
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
She helped raise me.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh,
She was always around. Yeah, she was the best.
Oh, good.
I loved her so much.
She's a lot of fun. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take a quick break and talk about our sponsor because we have a sponsor and I'm so proud to, have one. You have no idea. Like Caleb's got to give me the prompt though. I don't know if I hit him. He's trying to set up TikTok for me right now. He keeps saying, send me the verification codes. We can be on TikTok. But are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm great.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
All right. Kaleb, are you in there anywhere?
Trying.
I mean,
You need to send me that. Well, okay. 1 second. Give me 1 minute, Susan. We're getting there. There you go.
Okay. So in case you don't know, Native Path Hydrate is our sponsor. And most people know that staying hydrated is essentially something everybody needs for our bodily functions. 75% of Americans still do not consume enough fluid daily, especially if you're an old lady like me. And as we age, natural changes can make staying hydrated even harder. With Native Hydrate by Native Path, you can fill your body with essential electrolytes for cellular hydration, plus branched-chained amino acids and all 9 essential amino acids. And I don't know what that means, but I know it has a lot of great natural ingredients that are backed by science to help strengthen your muscles and minimize cramps, which is great if you're working out or you just get cramps. Improve your bladder health, boost your energy, improve brain function, support weight loss goals, and more. That's how important it is to hydrate. Native Hydrate is free of artificial flavors, sugars, and dyes. It has only 5 calories per serving and comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee, so you can spit it out and send it back if you don't like it. nativehydrate.com/calling out is where you go to see what optimal hydration could do for your health. That's nativehydrate.com/calling out. And remember, you don't have to pay us on the Rumble Rants or YouTube. Just check out our sponsors. And we also approve all our products and make sure that they're healthy for you before we sell them to you. But anyways, if you need some hydration, something new, it has a lot of great ingredients, and it's Dr. Drew approved. So here we are, we're back, and thank you everybody for listening. I'm glad that we're able to contact a grandmother,
Rhoda. Yeah.
And I'm a grandmother.
Oh my, mazel tov.
I'm like only like
Congratulations.
a week and a half in, and she is so beautiful. I want to be that grandmother. So, I'm drinking this hydration product instead of alcohol. So it's going to keep me alive.
And it's
longer.
working. I walked in here and I was like, what is this 25-year-old doing with a podcast?
Oh my gosh, the mishmagosh.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious if we had anybody else log into the Zoom area.
Yes, Brian O'Shea is here whenever you're ready to bring him in. And then we're setting up a caller right now with Emily. I'm getting that caller set up. But she,
and you get to interact with this.
Okay, great.
And if anything comes through for you, we'll move in that direction. But Colby told me that she is a big fan of true crime, and she likes to talk about things in true crime, as long as there's nothing too political affiliated with it, or if she's not going to get sued. But yeah,
fair enough.
yeah. So we brought in Brian O'Shea. He is. I just thought, I'll bring him on for a segment because I haven't talked to him in a long time since we did our Halloween show and spoke with Naomi Wolf, who is his wife, and also we tapped into his soul a little bit. But he's always willing to come on and try a little something here with the Calling Out crew. Are you there, Brian?
Thanks for having me. Good to see you all again, and for the first time.
Yes. He's very handsome. I like to have a little male influence on my show.
Male candy, too. Susan, are you having male candy on?
I'm blushing.
Yes, this is Naomi's boy toy. Anyway, so maybe that was too much, but he appreciates it. I don't know why you can sexually harass a guy, but I reached out to. Well, I want to know what Brian would want to know from a psychic medium about the unknown in a true crime story. And I didn't get any topics from him, and I didn't ask Colby in advance. So she's going to have to do everything spiritually here. Just the way it goes. So, and I'm sorry, Colby, I'm springing this on you, but it's Mishmagosh Day.
Okay.
I actually know what that means. Maybe I should just bring up any case I'm working on. Would that work?
Oh, I would love it. So, Brian, I'm super into, like she told you, true crime, remote viewing. So I'm more than happy to give you any insight into anything that you may know or not know. I know it's interesting just because I used to be an accountant. I used to be a tax manager. So I know how much the checks and balances and proving things are. But I don't know. There's so many times where I'll just know what happened or who did it or how it went down or how someone passed. And so I'd love to just answer anything any questions you have or anything that you're working on for sure.
Yeah, you bet.
And Colby, could you always tell when someone was about to get audited?
Do you know, really quick, Leah? Yes. So what would happen? That's actually that's actually really true. So what would happen is, the clients would give me their numbers and I'd start to put it into the system and I feel like, oh, that feels triggering. And I wasn't doing this. I wasn't really. And I go back to the client saying, hey, listen, this, I don't know. I just don't want this to throw up a red flag. Are you sure you have backup for it? And with any of my clients that were audited, I always was able to get them alleviated from knowing intuitively of what to do. It's so weird. It was so crazy. But yes, the answer to that is yes.
Oh, I wish I knew that. I need you to do my taxes there.
Right?
I'm glad you don't work for the IRS. I'd be like, yes, it's all on there. You'd be That's really interesting.
So
well, let me give you a
What
case.
you working on, Brian?
Well, I am still working on the Luigi Mangione United Healthcare case.
Okay.
And you probably know a lot of details, so that's probably a good place to start. I'll just tell you right now, I don't think Luigi Mangione is the shooter. So really my biggest question is maybe not who is the shooter, but how many people worked on this? How many people were part of the shooting crew?
It's interesting. So it almost feels like an underground team that we're dealing with. When you'd be able to build the tunnels underground and we'd have facilitators helping. So it feels like there is a much bigger movement. But I honestly feel like he feels like he's willing to be the scapegoat or he's willing to be the fall guy. Like, I almost feel like that's a willingness on his part of saying, hey, I am the shooter. Like, I don't feel like he's denying that. And it feels like it's going to be interesting because I wouldn't be surprised if he's not fully convicted either. I just almost have this weird feeling that there's going to be enough gray areas or enough sympathy or enough things happening that he doesn't get fully convicted of this either.
Or enough women willing to break him out of jail.
Well, yeah, that is true. That's why they probably had all of that security when he landed in.
But I think too, what happened, I mean, to me, it felt too, like, I almost feel like the government was like so slow on trying to figure out who it is. He's like, okay, look, here's my backpack. Just come and get me. Like, it's almost like it feels like I'm here. Just come and get me.
So maybe he got paid for it or something, got a big amount of money.
No, I don't think so. No. I don't even think this was about money. I'd be surprised. I feel like this was about principle for him.
Let me give you what I have so far. Just on. Yeah, so what I did is I went through.
On Restream's like, is there a video? What does he mean he's not the shooter? So tell him a little backstory of what happened to you.
Yeah, so basically I went through the entire federal complaint and everything that came out from the Departments of Justice on this case. So as a PI, when I was a PI and a private investigator in the Commonwealth of Virginia, I did 7 murder cases for the defense. And typically, and I noticed it in this case, the police will run after a suspect instead of multiple suspects. And what I can't figure out is we had a grainy picture of a guy in a Starbucks and then the picture of someone's back shooting Brian Thompson, the the deceased United Healthcare CEO. And then the next day, they had this image of this handsome guy from a hostel that supposedly the hostel worker said, "Oh yeah,
Right. I
from
want to
that
date
grainy
you. Like
photo."
yeah.
Yeah, from that grainy photo, I recognize that guy as someone who checked in here 10 days ago on the night shift in New York. Now, of course, you guys know New York. Hold up your phone, you'll see about 50 people all dressed like that.
Look
So
like him.
it's, yeah. And so my biggest thing with this is I look at the facts and I let the facts lead me to theories. And the fact is, there's just so much in it. Like, we do not have a picture of Luigi Mangioni's face in New York City anytime in December. They claim the taxi photos were taken on his way out of town. But remember, the police did not mention a taxi at all until they had a picture of this guy's face. And it's my contention that, oh crap, we need some pictures of this guy around New York. And all they had was maybe a taxi photo. The other question I have for you is, let's say he didn't do it and he was, someone's framing him. There's something with the family will that I want you to maybe focus on. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to bias you, but there's something in that family will. Luigi Mangione comes from a pretty wealthy family that happens to be in healthcare
Right.
services.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
but he can't.
He was one of the. Mhm.
Yeah. But I feel. Yeah. But I feel like it's that. It just feels like it's something where maybe you have to be on the up and up, right? You have to be clean, or, you have to be an upstanding citizen. So maybe something along the lines of, he's not allowed, like she's not going to give it to a felon, right? She's not going to sit there. And so I think it has something to do with that. But, so I could see the framing point, but I don't know. There's something where, I agree that they may not be able to prove technically that he's the killer, right? Because again, you see someone in a hood and a backpack, and the backpack is found. It's all very suspicious, but I still feel like he did have something to do with it. So whether, however that kind of unfolds, I don't feel that he's like, oh, I think he's going to be able to say it wasn't me. I think he's going to be able to say I didn't have anything to do with it. And I feel like he's going to have a good case around it. But I still feel like he kind of may have been a part of the bigger picture here. I almost feel like this is a bigger picture thing. So
it definitely feels that way.
It's not feeling like, oh, this is his family doing this. It really, although it's very suspicious, why would the family not go, well, I recognize him? Like, no one was like, I know who that is. That's my son. I find that to be
actually,
strange.
and the mother actually said, I wouldn't have recognized him even from the hostel photo, which was weird.
Yeah. I mean, but I have a feeling that there was this whole underground people that were coming together. So I think this was already in the making. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's more. That's the other thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more of these acts happening.
By the same group.
Do I have time for one more?
By the same group?
We've got lots of murder.
Yeah, I definitely think it could be a part of the same
people.
group, Susan. A group or a copycat, someone who's like, you know what? Yeah, I agree with this. Because you remember how my year may be off, like 2008, I could be off. The mortgage and everything was so, what's the word I'm looking for, you guys? Corrupted. It feels like the healthcare was very, very much the same thing. And now you've got people just going, okay, we're revolting. So you're not just losing your house, you're losing the health, you're losing loved ones. So I feel like there's more of this that's going to happen and come out. And it's going to get all
I've
exposed.
ever been happy.
It's all going to be exposed, all of this.
Wait, what?
I was going to say, this is the first time I'm happy not to be a billionaire.
Right? The CEO of something.
Oh my gosh.
I know. They're all running and hiding.
So there's another one, but I can wait my turn.
Well, what is
That
it?
I'm working on
No,
as well.
I want to know.
Okay. So this is a long-term one, but I've been working on this for a while. Take you back to the year 2020.
Okay.
A guy named Bing Liu, a data scientist from the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, announced that he had new findings on COVID-19 and its
Yes.
structure.
Yes.
3 days later, he's dead in his apartment. The police said the official cause of death was he was shot by a guy named Hao Gu. And it was a love triangle. Like supposedly Hao Gu was, wanting Bing Liu's wife, and that's why he shot him. Now these men had no point of intersection, never met each other before. They're 12 years apart in age. And here's where it gets really weird. Bing Liu, University of Pittsburgh, that whole town just signed a deal the October before for $18 billion with their sister city, which is Wuhan, and to manage all of these big hospitals. And on top of it, none of the neighbors heard any shots, even though supposedly Hao Gu went, shot him, and then shot himself in a car.
How could you possibly have time to figure out something or anything about COVID and also be in a love triangle at the same time?
That's a great point.
That's a lot of work.
Look.
So I'm trying to see, are they telling the truth?
My feeling is, regardless, I feel like Bing Liu, I feel like he was exposing COVID. I feel like he was absolutely exposing it for really where it originated, what's behind it. And I feel like they needed to silence him. I mean, it just feels like, hey, we can't have this guy talking. And so I do feel like he was assassinated. I really do. And it may have just been with a silencer. I'm not exactly sure it's the person they said did it, because but I do feel like he was targeted. They needed to shut him up and I bet you I would dig deeper, because I bet you there's I bet you if anyone looked at his computers or his files, there's now some mysterious washing of information where things are missing. I think if someone looks at the computer, that's where they're going to go, okay, well, then this doesn't explain the love triangle. It's missing. It's gone. It's doesn't exist.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. Is there anyone near him I should be looking at? You think there was a insider at the university? Or do you see anyone? Because I know what they all look like.
Well, what's interesting is I would take notice to the person that was supposed to be his wife, because I feel like she may be in on this. She knows. So I do feel like she knows part of this. And I would look at his. I really feel like I would look at a connection between Bing Liu and Wu Hong. Because it feels like there may have been a political figure or someone in Wuhan that is aware of Bing Liu and knows what he was doing. So I would look for that connection as well.
Sounds good. That's where I'll look. And I like the idea of looking at the wife.
Yeah.
Or the girlfriend or whatever she was, because that's never clear. It is interesting, though, that is the fastest case closure in the Pittsburgh police history.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
there's just too much around
Shocking.
it. Yeah, there's just too much around it. And, there's a lot. It's interesting. If anyone were, I don't dive too deep into all of this because I don't ever want it to interfere with what's coming in naturally. But I do know if you look at a lot of the people that were going to expose COVID for what they believed it was, they either went missing, their jobs were lost, they got silenced. I mean, it is crazy of this is like there's something behind this for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I do, Susan. I had a dream last night about a murderer. Can I throw that up there?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I is kind of scattered, and I told Naomi right away, otherwise I forget. It was a man in a gray, like winter, like wool coat, longer coat, like you'd wear with a suit. He was kind of heavy set, kind of a close cropped brown haircut, 5 o'clock shadow, and kind of cherubically chubby. But he had an AR-15, and he was aiming it, and he looked like he was in the parking lot of the FedEx Kinko's on Connecticut Avenue in Northwest DC, where I used to live. And I grabbed my son and I said, "Here, get out, quick, go." And he kind of looked at us and then looked away like he heard something but couldn't see us. And then when I went to shoot him with my Glock fell apart in my hands, and he looked again and then went back to shooting up these cars. Just wonder if it means anything, or it could.
I don't. Okay, so it could. It's weird. So
Susan likes this one, I could tell.
I definitely feel like I definitely feel like this is a premonition, Brian. Which is so scary, right? Because you're not able to really kind of stop those. But I really feel like this is a premonition.
Don't
The
go to
FedEx
and
Kinko's.
No.
I don't think it's gonna be the FedEx Kinko's, but for some reason that may have come in. It may be more of a federal government thing, federal building thing, federal. Like I feel like it's more of a government thing versus maybe a FedEx Kinko's. So I do feel like, and the person feels to be very disgruntled. Like I feel like it's a very disgruntled person.
That's interesting because he kind of looks like I used to be a contractor for one of the agencies down there, and he does look like, in my recollection, someone who would be a contractor. There's a certain look, no offense, contractors, but the suits aren't fitted as nicely as they are in Manhattan. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, and so I just get so anyhow, just note it down. Do you remember the day or time you had that dream?
It was this morning as I was waking up, and the time there was like mid, and there was nothing I watched or read that would even
kind of do it. So so just kind of pay attention to the day or the time, because sometimes that has something to do with the occurrence of it.
I will, definitely. I'm looking forward to learning more. That's all I have.
Have you ever had a premonition that came true?
Well, I'm scared because I'm supposed to be in DC this weekend doing shows. Thanks a lot, Brian.
I'm sorry. Well, if it helps you at all, there were no women there. It was all cars. That's a weird thing. There were no people. He was shooting up cars, which is weird. But if anything happens to you, just duck and run.
Just haunt him. Just haunt him.
Jeez.
So that's all you have to do, Leah. Just haunt him from the other side.
I'm really sorry.
Oh, I will. Brian, watch out. Yeah, I'll be in your next stream. No, I actually have had a premonition that came
I'm
true.
Irish. We don't mind ghosts. Irish people don't mind ghosts. I'll be like, hey, come on in,
I'll
have a
drink them
drink.
away. Yeah.
How's that
I'm
acting career?
52% Irish. I found out about 10 years ago. So isn't that funny?
Oh, congratulations. Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
So what was your premonition?
Okay, so I had a premonition. This is so crazy, but and it's not a scary one, but I was with this girl and I had never met her before. And she said she was having a guy problem. I said, don't worry, you're going to get engaged in 6 months. I don't know where that came from, but I just said that. And she was like, why would you say that? We're not talking and I've blocked him. And I was like, you're just going to be engaged in 6 months. I'm so sorry. I wish I hadn't said this. I feel so bad now. Cut to 6 months later, I see in her Instagram story all these photos of him. And I go, bitch, who is this? And she goes, oh my God, I have to call you. You're never going to believe what happened. And it was so crazy. I knew it. I just knew. I just saw an image, just a flash, and that was it.
Do you see anything about Brian that you can tell him that's coming?
Brian, stay away from all government buildings this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ran away from those long ago.
Yeah. That's
but come to a
interesting.
show. Yeah.
So everybody, Leah's going to be in DC this week?
Yes, I'll be at the Comedy Loft Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. And if you're in New York, I have shows all week next week at the Stand if you're around.
Here in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love the Stand. I was there last night.
Oh, yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, I checked out their podcast studio. We might be a part of their platform or something. I don't know. Maybe
I'm
the show.
impressed.
I'm not
That
sure.
takes a lot of courage.
Oh, thank you. It also takes a lot of courage to hide from shooters in DC. So
Yeah, I know.
I think you have a lot of
Yeah,
courage.
but he's got a Glock. He's walking around with a Glock.
I know. I noticed you didn't say gun. Yeah, you said Glock, and I was like, "What gang are you in, Brian?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody,
Or are you a rapper? What's going on here?
yeah,
The Dead
so-
Rabbits. It's the old Irish gang.
Also, a question for you. When you said none of the neighbors heard the gunshot,
Mm.
I always thought, is it possible that they had a silencer?
Yeah, it had a silent. I think it had a silencer, and it was put up right. I see it being put up right to the back of his head.
Mhm.
So I would look at the autopsy to see where he was shot.
Well, and that falls right back on the wife then, because no one mentioned a silencer, and then this guy supposedly killed himself.
No.
Both of them
he
were
didn't
from
kill-
Wuhan. Yeah, totally.
No.
But the wife is a good angle to look at. And of course, I had that on the list, but maybe I'll move that
Don't
up
they
to
usually
priority.
look at them first? Isn't that usually who they go to first, the spouse, to see if they did it?
You'd
Unless
be
you're
surprised.
Chinese. I don't know. Is that
You'd be
something-
surprised. In Virginia, it's real. There's a really good book with John Grisham that just came out, and it's called Framed, and it takes all these real cases of people who've been framed, and the overall thesis is every case that the police start with a hunch ends badly for the police.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, there's a whole true crime story thing where this police went on his hunch and they put 3 people in prison. It wasn't even them when it came to DNA cold case. I mean, but they're
Oh,
long
it's crazy.
dead, gone. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But yeah.
Yeah, we had a case, my last case in Virginia. The guy named Shaquille was stabbed right in the heart. He's like 6'5", and the last person with him was this woman named Pam Calloway.
Yeah.
And
Who's
she
5'2".
said, "Oh, yeah," and she's like, "Oh, it was my husband. He did it. We're estranged." So the police went looking for the husband, and even let her hold the flashlight at the crime scene,
Yeah.
even though she was the last person. And he didn't DNA or anything. She also, it came out because I did a little legal manipulation of her. I got her to go back to the grand jury and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, I did have a knife that day in my purse. I just forgot to tell you." And she also had a history of stabbing people, including her husband.
Wow.
But this guy
Well, who
spent
doesn't carry a
year
knife in their
jail.
purse?
So
Cool. I
so
like it.
Caleb, widen out the screen. Drew just walked up.
My
Look
car's
how
here.
beautiful Robin
okay.
looks with all the light on her. Spirit is
Yeah,
glowing
and also
on her.
we also have to have Robin in the shot.
There we are. Hey guys.
He's just saying hi. Okay, so
I
everybody,
have the
Drew.
clunky headphone.
tonight Dr. Drew will be on
I
the
heard-
Gutfeld show.
Ooh.
I
and,
heard Susan talking about China and Chinese. I thought, I wonder who she's talking to in here. Boom, came right into focus for me.
There it is.
If there's no explanation, it must
Let's
be
see it.
China, right, Brian?
It all goes back to China. I'm telling you. Everyone laughs at me, but I've been right every time. It all goes
know.
back to
You
it goes back to
have
the
a
Chinese Communist Party.
You have a disciple in the woman to my
Oh, no,
right,
no.
camera left, which is that the People's Liberation Army are behind everything.
CCP. CCP.
We'll see.
And TikTok.
Well, I don't know. We have a psychic.
Yeah,
Let's ask.
so I erased TikTok, and if I'm on TikTok right now, Caleb was working frantically to get us on TikTok today. Hi, everybody on TikTok. I don't have the app on my phone because the day before they canceled it, I erased 2 apps that were on my phone. I was trying to erase one, found 2, and got scared, so I got rid of it because I think it listens to me and it knows what I'm
course it does.
thinking.
Well-
and I refuse to be followed by China. So
Because what you're
anyways,
thinking comes out of your mouth.
you'd be very proud, but I still can get it on my computer. So if I just log out, then I feel safer. But if we are on TikTok today and you are enjoying this program, thank you very much for listening. And you can find us on YouTube, Rumble, and X as
Did you
well.
talk to Brittany? I see a.
No, Brittany is coming up. She's been waiting.
I see a big announcement. Get Brittany in here. She's only got a few minutes.
No, she knew to come on it.
Oh, Drew, that announcement has been on screen for like 15 to 20 minutes now, so no worries there. No worries.
I know. I saw it when I walked by a couple of times.
I was texting
tried flashing
her.
it.
She
Okay,
said
good, good.
4:30 and I
So,
said,
okay,
I
good.
knew.
But mostly, hi Colby, by the way.
Hi.
So, you guys got tons of snow up there?
We do. We got about 8 inches up here, which is pretty fun, pretty
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Colby's in Big Bear if anybody needs a psychic reading in Big Bear.
So, what do you want me to do with getting over to?
Well, do you have to leave now? Can you wait like 20 minutes or do you have to go now?
I can wait 15
I
minutes.
can, you know what? I'll just take the train up there. If you're not with me, I won't, nobody will give a shit.
Why don't we wait? I can wait. What was that?
I can take the train.
Wrong
Just
button,
go,
sorry.
Do your thing.
I meant
Say,
to
Brian,
do,
look behind you.
but I did my.
Honestly, like, I mean,
So I figure you're going to be about another half hour. So
yeah, we have
so
a
you
reading.
guys-
I have to read an ad,
Yeah.
and we're going to
So,
read the
all
ad
right.
at the end, right?
So hi guys, hi everybody. Good to see you all, and thank you for being here.
And also, I just want to give a shout out to Candace Owen for mentioning the show on her TikTok the other day because we called out Ryan Reynolds as part of this intricate web of the Blake Lively and whatever her.
now I pushed back on it, if you remember.
Yeah, but the psychic said that it was going to be found out, and it was. And I'm
Do you
very
wanna-
excited. And thank you, Emily Haig.
Susan, how about we do this? Why don't you do your live read because it can't be an end roll; it has to be a mid roll. And then we get
Okay.
a call from Brittany, and then we can play the Candace
All right.
Owens clip, and then the clip from the Lauren Rainbow that she was referring to, all in a row here.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
and then let me just, for the record, since I won't be here to defend Ryan, he is the nicest guy on earth. He is, I just can't say enough nice about the guy, and everyone I know that knows him says the same thing. So, for the record, if something happened, it's not because he's not a good dude.
And I want Robin to chime in because this is her go-to thing at the end as well. So anyways,
Bye,
really
Brittany.
quickly before Brittany, sorry Brittany, we're running a little off. Thank you, Drew, for making an appearance because
Bye.
now it's
Nice to meet you.
official that it's your channel. And you know, we are a community service by the drdrew.tv. So Kaleb, can you put it on the top screen? It's too small. Say it. Okay. All right. So you heard about our Native Path sponsor. They have a collagen, and finding an honest doctor like my husband isn't following the footsteps of big pharma can feel impossible. That's why millions of men and women have turned to one Texas doctor. And the 7 reasons he says anyone over the age of 50 drinking this one thing. It's not milk or another calcium-rich drink. Instead, it's a unique protein that naturally declines with age and is proven to greatly increase bone strength and soothe our joints, which I have. It minimizes wrinkles, cellulite, don't have any of that, and enhances the hair follicle thickness, even reverses nail damage, with users reporting results in as little as 2 weeks. They're offering Calling Out listeners up to 45% off this bone, joint, and ligament restoring formula at getnativepathcollagen.com. That's getnativepathcollagen.com. Right down /calling out. It has thousands of 5-star reviews and over 4 million jars sold. Every order comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee. You can spit it out and send it back. So there's no risk to try it today. Calling Out listeners can visit Get Native, like naked almost, getnativepathcollagen.com /calling out. Get 45% off. While the supplies last, that's getnativepathcollagen.com /calling out. Okay, love having a sponsor. And sorry, Brittany, we're bringing you back, and we're going to bring you in here with myself, Leah, Colby, and Brian can stay if he wants. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he can sleuth detective, but I'm sure he might have to go. And let me see. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Are you still there, Brian? Is
I
Brian
am
in
here.
the
I'm going to
house
hang out
still?
for a little while. Yeah.
Okay, he's going to hang out, but in case you want to know more about Brian, he's He's the host of Investigate Everything, which you can find on Rumble and the Daily Clout. That's the place to go. That's like a great television program. And then you can find him. Go support his work. He's an amazing dude. I love him, and I know he's got some other reasons why he knows that shooter was not alone. So check it out. He has a longer version. So Brittany, thank you for visiting us here on Calling Out with Susan Pinsky. Sorry to make you wait, but I'm going to introduce you to Rebel Colby now, and tap into your spirit and see what she can come up with.
Hi, everyone.
Brittany.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
And if you're lucky, Brian will pull out his Glock for you.
Wow.
Sorry. Sorry, that was rude. Anyways.
Brittany, have you ever had a reading before, honey?
Yeah. It's been a couple years.
Okay. Well, let me dive in. Do you want a little bit more going into your life, things coming up, or do you want to kind of talk to someone on the other side? What would you prefer?
Things coming up.
Yeah, that sounds good. It feels like when I talk about things coming up, it's interesting because I feel like I don't know why, but it feels like you're needing to do a lot of research. So I feel like for things coming up, you're going to be working on a project that's kind of taking a lot of research, taking a lot of finding the facts around it, being able to release the facts around it. So I feel like there's going to be something where you're getting a story out, revelation out, that sort of thing. So it's kind of weird. Are you connected to the medical field at all, Brittany, or anything medical? Would that resonate with you? Okay. Because what I'm getting is there's something around what you're doing in the medical field where I feel like you're going to be advancing or needing maybe more going back to school or something like this. So I feel like there's a lot more learning, training, research that's happening. So I don't know if you've been looking at to maybe becoming a doctor or are you planning on going back to school? Would that make sense? Because I keep seeing that come in.
I'm not planning it. It does feel like I won't be at this position forever. So
no,
I don't know.
It feels like you're going to be dialed in here, maybe a year or two, but then it becomes boring. I feel like you go, yeah, this isn't challenging or this isn't really what I was thinking. So I feel like in order for you to be able to do the things you want to do, it's going to go back to school. It's going to go back to training. And I know you're going to be really reluctant about it because you're just going to be like, God, I just can't, just no. But it feels like if you do, and when you do, it really gets you into the nitty gritty. It's going to be amazing to see because I feel like you're diving in so deep to really much more of the medical, much more of, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's something around deep death, like what is, or looking at, what's the word I'm looking for? Suspicious deaths or what's behind something, or, like a little bit more of the forensic involved with it. So, yeah, I mean, I think like dealing with babies and an ER might be a thing for the present, but I feel like going in. Once you're in more, you're like, okay, give me the challenge, give me the thing that I can sink my teeth into. So it's also, Brittany, I feel like you're actually very, very intuitive yourself. So it's going to be a career where you're using your own intuition in the medical field that you're working in.
Exciting.
I wouldn't be like, what keeps coming up is arsenic, right? And so we know arsenic, I think you just don't find it, right? You have to actually do a test specifically for arsenic in the system for someone, right? Unless they're now putting it in general panels, but not that I know of. So it's almost like you're looking for that substance, like what is there that nobody else is really looking at or seeing or testing.
Okay.
Does that resonate at all?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. But I feel like it's going to be very good, very exciting. I also, which is really wonderful, I do feel marriage for you. So are we not married yet, Brittany, or are we in a
Wait,
No,
wait,
not yet.
wait, can I interrupt for a second? So
Okay.
maybe Brian and Brittany should meet. This sounds right up Brian's alley. Wait, what? I thought, I don't know. What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Like for work?
I mean, what's with the arsenic and the, what is that?
I don't know, but I did recently I was like researching this area, and I was just seeing like I was just in Suriname, and like I was just curious about
How to kill somebody?
like the life there. And I somehow I came
just
across
kidding.
the fact that, like, sorry, I can't really like fully hear. I don't have this up very loud because I didn't want to like.
Okay, keep going.
And I found out that they're number 6 in suicides. So I was talking to my girlfriend lives there, and apparently I didn't know why that would be, because it seemed like a lot of the people I met there were really happy, and a lot of the women are like drinking poison to kill themselves. And I started looking into that and looking into suicide and suicide prevention, and they were drinking poison. So that might be what this
That's
is
what
about,
it is. That's exactly what it is.
which is really weird. Like
It's also, yeah, but what's going to be crazy about it is I feel like if you continue to research it and work on it, you're going to expose something, and then you're going to write about it. You're going to talk about it. So that's the research I was talking about as well.
Yeah, that
Pretty
could be it.
crazy.
I mean, it's a very new topic, but it just got me thinking about like suicide and suicide prevention. So maybe.
Yeah. But go back to, I think it's up to you. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I don't think it's just suicide and suicide prevention. Why are these women? What is happening to these
Taking it.
women that they're so willing to take the poison?
Mhm.
Right? There's almost a programming happening underneath of it. So I feel like I would look at
where
the
is it
system
located
underneath of
again?
the
I'm sorry,
programming.
I wasn't.
Oh,
is
it's
it
just
lo-
it's this small like, where is this at? It was in this small like in South America, but it doesn't
Oh,
mean
okay.
I would just started thinking about suicide in general. So
Interesting. I don't know. Hey, Brian, why would women be looking at ways to commit suicide in South America?
Well, which was the country again?
Suriname.
Suriname. I'd have to look at it, but it seems really suspect that so many women are committing suicide by drinking things.
Or
I don't know. I mean,
No, I mean, I guess
that's where my mind went.
it seemed to be. I think it was there's a lot of different religions there, so a lot of the women happen to, like, when they fall in love with the men, they tend to there's a lot of cultures, like the parents don't want them to be with that man, so then they're so upset. It's young women, so they're so upset that they can't be with the man they love that they kill
Like
themselves.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
Romeo and Juliet, yeah.
there seems to be a lot of cases like that, apparently.
That's so sad.
I know, it really is. That's
Yeah.
really sad. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop on your future, but that just kind of rang.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I know.
Thought. Oh, so
Okay.
sad. Okay.
But I do feel like you're going to get married, Brittany. So I do see a partner, and I see a proposal, and I see a marriage, and it really feels like someone who either has the same, I don't know if it's the same background as you, but someone who has a very strong, the family values are very, very, very similar between you and this person. And I feel like the families get along. There might be like a little bit of an adjustment, but I feel like the families really connect and the families really get along. I almost feel like maybe you've met him already. Are you in a relationship, Brittany? Can I ask?
I don't know yet. It's pretty pretty new.
Okay. How long have we been in it?
Maybe like a couple weeks.
Okay. There's something about yeah, I really feel like there's something to this person, and I feel like there's a really strong connection, and I feel like he knows it as well. So I feel like he's, I'm getting this sense that he's being very proactive in this, and in communication. And I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's already talking about, like, I see myself with you, that sort of thing. So even though it feels fast, what's his first name? Are you allowed to say?
I guess. Where is this being like?
Nowhere.
On
Just, this
YouTube?
is all personal. It's all between us here.
We're live all over the United States. So if you get, yeah. Or is it being?
Yeah, let's put him on blast, babe.
Give us
Yeah.
a letter,
Oh my
a sound,
God.
a name that sounds like Ryan. You know. But,
Oh my God, Susan, let me just tell you, that's so funny because I wrote out the name Brian, which is so funny.
No, it's not Brian. I mean, yeah, I don't want to say
You
his
don't have
name
to
yet.
say it. Don't say
Okay.
it. It's okay. We don't want to make you uncomfortable. That's not the goal here. So, but anyhow, my
We're not
point
calling
is
you out or anything.
we're just
No,
gonna
I
call
know, I
him.
know.
We're gonna call him Brian. So I really feel like with Brian, you're going to really build this relationship. I feel like it's. I do feel like it's a strong connection, and I feel like there's a strong possibility that this is your person. So, just be open to the experience.
Okay.
Don't fuck it up. Okay, this is the guy.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say that he may be too nice sometimes, but usually that's a good thing. You know, no bad boys. Just go for the nice ones.
Is that the issue? The girls think they're too nice. That's how things get ruined. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
they
that
get
problem.
boring. They're
Oh,
boring
boy.
or something. Well, you've heard that story from Emily, right?
Probably. Which story?
He's too nice. He's just
Oh,
too
like
nice.
just that- that's her-
She likes the
likes the challenge.
sociopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
We all do.
That's-
We love a bad boy.
Yeah, like when I met Drew, he
That's
was
true.
just so nice, and it was really tough changing my tune, but it worked out really well. So I go for the
Okay.
nice guys too.
I am trying to listen to the married women these days. I try not to take advice to the ones that are not that don't have it figured
That's
out.
smart.
Okay, do you have
Yeah.
any questions before we go talk about Ryan Reynolds?
No, that's good. Those are
I mean, I'm glad we tapped into your soul. We'll have you back
Yeah,
soon. We want to know how
all right.
when the wedding comes. We want to know more.
Mhm.
And then,
Brittany,
and-
I have a rule with my clients. If I predict a wedding, I have to be invited when it happens.
Absolutely. That would be, yeah. Oh, yeah.
so definitely want to know more. I know you have to go back to work, but thank you. And if you need a good Thai massage in New York too, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll hook you up with it.
Thanks, everyone.
So, I mean, she told me, I heard you was a Thai masseuse, and I was
Yeah.
like, what does that have to do with arsenic? Like,
Oh, yeah, that's true. No, I just do it for fun, like on the side. I learned it in Thailand a couple years ago.
oh, nice. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll meet in person, and have a
Yes.
great week. And it's not quite the weekend yet, but
All right, ladies.
So we have sort of a fun thing that happened on our prediction show, which unfortunately Colby wasn't available, but it was a good show. Your friend Lauren Rainbow was there, and she had some predictions that actually came true like a couple days later and blew some people's minds. So we wanted to just mention that and show the tape of what happened if Kaleb has it. He's usually pretty good.
With the Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Justin Baldoni situation, I really kind of feel this is not going to come out well for Ryan Reynolds of all of them. So I think we're going to see here in the coming months his role in that kind of situation get pulled out more and more. So I think we may sadly see, especially in where people feel about him, but maybe a little bit of a fall from grace in that side.
rather hilariously, apparently there was some medium who went on the show, I should have dug up the clip for you guys to watch, and predicted the day before yesterday that this entire Blake Lively thing was going to shift around, and it was going to be about Ryan Reynolds. It was going to be bad for Ryan Reynolds. She told this to Drew Pinsky, and I did not know this. And when I got my tip yesterday, I just started sharing it because I was going, this is the only thing that makes sense. The person who wrote to me said that they worked on the set of It Ends With Us, okay? And that the villain in this entire story is not Blake Lively. It's not Justin Baldoni, but it is Ryan Reynolds.
And by the way, my husband came to Ryan's defense and said he was a great guy. Just so you know, we left that out. But we have Robin Delano here to chime in on this too, because she was unfortunately not there either that day. Neither one of you were. So I don't know how you feel about this at all, Colby, but I'm going to have Robin pop on the screen. There she is. So how did you feel about this prediction, Robin?
Well, I loved it because I love all of our psychics that we have on the show. And then I love Candace Owens too. So when I was following Candace, I fell out. I was like, oh my God, Candace watches, or she got this information. Awesome. So yeah, and I'm so happy that Lauren brought it up because I am obsessed with this case too. So Candace is on it.
Do you believe it's true? I love it. Do you believe it's true? Is that something that rings true for you since you follow this case so adamantly?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because all of this, I listened to the whole, I think it's a 179-page lawsuit that Justin Baldoni's team put out. And it brings all kinds of evidence about what was really happening. And yeah, it's just sticky. It's really sticky. It's like personal. And I do think that there was a lot of jealousy involved. And unfortunately, I do think that their careers are going to suffer from this. So
oh, wow. Terrible, horrible to hear. But what about you, Colby? How do you feel about this? I mean, do you follow this at all?
Yeah. I've followed it a little bit, to be honest. And I think it's going to put a strain on Blake and Ryan's marriage, as I think that would be probably expected. And it just feels, look, I think Ryan, he didn't like someone. I don't think he liked someone hitting on his wife. I think there was some inappropriateness. I think there was some things happening and she was uncomfortable, but she was trying to just probably move through it, right? And she went home and told her husband, and he's like, oh, hell no, not on my watch. And so I feel like that's what started him to kind of go alpha a bit. So, look, per Lauren, does he fall a little bit from grace? He may, because I think people are going to really see how aggressive. We're not used to Ryan being an aggressive personality. We're used to him being the funny guy, the nice guy. But I feel like he absolutely is going to fight for his wife and to ensure that she has equal rights on a set. And so I do think there's some of that coming in. I feel like too, the producer, what's his name, Robin? I'm sorry, the other guy in the movie.
Yeah, it's Wayfair Studios. It's Justin Baldoni.
No, the other actor, right?
Oh, Justin Baldoni.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My feeling is he was inappropriate. That's my feeling. I absolutely believe he was. I absolutely believe he was unprofessional, but he could also argue he got into the role. I've not seen the movie, but I feel like he's going to say, look, I was in characters, method acting. But I feel like what we're going to see with Ryan is him maybe separating himself from the media a bit. Like, oh, okay, let's put the kind of limelight back on Blake and Justin. But I don't know. I think he's going to find his way through it, because I feel like at the end of the day, they're going to be able to show that although he said or did some things, I think the American public is going to be like, look, any man who's standing up for his wife, like, I don't know. I think he's going to have some public sympathy around it, but we'll see. But he's not as shiny as polished as people think. So I think he might have a little East Coast side to him.
See, I agree with Colby.
Well, it sounds
I
like
guess
a
it
sticky
always
situation.
it always poses the question, what is acting and what is not, because that's what they're being paid to do.
That's exactly right. But that's exactly
the thing.
right.
Yeah.
But you have some of these actors that in the method acting, right? Robin, you would know better than me, but in the method acting, they're in the role when the camera's not rolling, right? They're just embodying. You've got some famous people that are so known for it that that's just how they work. And so he may be trying to pull that card as what's and that's probably what's going to come up at court. What's that dividing line? Yeah.
So that's the thing, is that they have all the dailies. So they have because all the cameras are around and they have everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
did you guys all watch the video, the one that I guess it was his team put out that showed their interaction from the dailies, and it was, the close-up scene of them interacting, and it seemed like he was doing it as a defense of what he was saying. Did you guys all saw that video?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I did not.
That's why. Oh, okay. So you've seen it, Robin. When I watched it, I thought my brain was like, okay, he's going to get exonerated, and I watched it, and every fiber of my being saw her very uncomfortable, and him knowing there's a camera there and acting in a certain way that he could later on dismiss. But to me, it was like, it really appeared to me, and I don't know why, because I feel very unique in that I don't see other people saying that online. I felt like she looked very uncomfortable, like the little touches and things that he was doing. She was uncomfortable.
But that was the scene.
That's right. That's a good defense. It's a good defense to say that that's the scene. But it seemed like he was going. It really seemed like to me that he was making her uncomfortable, and that she was being a good actress by sticking with the role. Like it seemed like something was going on there that wasn't what was happening in the scene. It made me feel really creeped out by him.
No.
Yeah.
You guys, it's acting. It's called acting. So after he goes cut, he yells at this, he goes cut, and then he goes back into because I've been an actress for years, and it's like acting. Like what?
But see, to me, it was like I'm thinking of it as like because
you can claim a lot. You can claim a lot as a woman. You could be like, oh no, I feel uncomfortable. But the problem with this is that up until the SAG strike, this is the whole thing. There was no problem between them. And she denied an intimacy coordinator. She denied it.
Right.
Because it has to be in your right. Because I work in casting. So it's like in every movie that has any kind of sexual anything, you have to have an intimacy coordinator, and you have to have an intimacy and nudity writer.
Right.
Which she refused to sign.
Right.
So she hadn't signed it.
Right.
So all of this stuff was, and you have to have this before you sign on any kind of celebrity. You have to, or this stuff will happen.
Right. I think this is more a judgment of that, of everything should have been done in writing. Like it really kind of seems like this project started in a certain way, and everybody was happy with each other. Yeah,
it was, because before any celebrity ever signs on, you have to deal with their agent, their publicist, and their lawyers. So before the celebrity even will look at the contract, their lawyers, their publicists, and their agents will go through it. So they all have to go through it. So they all signed off on it.
But that's what I was seeing. Is like it seemed like it was a culture there on the filming of that set of kind of bending the rules. Aggressive. Like, yes, this is what we're contractually obligated to do, but our two stars are also the producers, so they have authority to kind of bend rules. And I can see where it's like, well, a lot of people, they might bend the rules for the good of the film for a little bit, and then later on be like, well, I add up all these things, and it's like, it seems like, I mean, there's something that makes me very uncomfortable about him. after
But
seeing that video.
there is one
you know?
thing I do want to quickly say before I have to run off. But the one thing I do want to say is, I absolutely understand why we have an intimacy writer and someone on set, and I understand why that's really important. And even if she didn't sign off on it, and she feels that she was abused, I don't think that's an excuse. Like, I don't feel it's almost like blaming the victim because her skirt was too short. Like, the fact that Blake didn't sign the contract doesn't mean she deserves to be abused because she didn't sign it or she didn't sign off on it. So, you know,
like,
I guess
there have been a lot of cases of where it's like the unfortunately smarter male predators will find ways to get the people they prey on to send them text messages that say, oh, I had a great time last night. Oh, everything was consensual. Oh, I would never. And then they use that in court later because they know, well, if I can get one thing in writing, then this gives me a blanket pass for all this other stuff. It's like, I don't know if you've seen this stuff going on with Neil Gaiman, the author. There are different ways to argue it of where, yes, it does seem like he got a lot of stuff in writing that this was consensual, but then you look at the whole surface here, and there's a lot of other stuff that's out of balance. And that's what when I look at it, it seems like these are both professionals. They're both going in there as professionals trying to do it. Things start going wrong, and they're like, well, we shouldn't have done all of this stuff that we didn't agree to in writing, but now we have a big film, and now we don't know what to do, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And because like I'm looking at it from the perspective of someone who's not been an actor, but someone who's like managed like acting talent that have been on sets, and you can kind of tell when someone's getting uncomfortable with something that's going on, and they don't want to say something because they don't want to. Even someone that powerful, you don't want to be the person that's like, I'm the diva here that's saying I don't want to do this sexy scene with this sexy movie that I signed on for. So you just kind of let things go and go and go until it's too far. Now, it's not saying that she's done nothing wrong, because I did read from her article and all of that. There were a lot of stuff that was taken way out of context that she should not have included in that whole lawsuit there. But at the same time, I'm like, it doesn't seem like he's so as innocent as it's being portrayed. There's a little bit more there, and I can just see it just looks like to me she's uncomfortable, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm maybe the only person that picked up on that.
I have a weird question. And Colby, I know you have to go, but I just want to say I absolutely love you. And my mom said that my names are my own and I wasn't named after anyone.
Okay, well, thank you.
But I love you so much. But I do have a weird question, because I agree with Colby on this, that we shouldn't be, it does feel like victim blaming in a way. But my other question is, and Robin, maybe you know the answer, why would you not want an intimacy coordinator on set?
Well, they did have one though. They just didn't have one for this particular scene, I think, is the scene in question.
I see.
Because it depends like what's involved and what's in your writer as an actress. As an actress, or as an actor, because this happens to actors as well. Like, I've seen actors claim like, no, I didn't want that or whatever. But you actually there's like different stipulations in everyone's contract, whether you're going to see partial nudity, any nudity, what kind of kissing is involved, what kind of touching is involved. And any professional actor, before you go into a scene, will usually be like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to talk it through before you do anything physical, usually with anybody. And they did. That was the thing, is they did talk it through. So something happened. I'm telling you, there's a timeline. Candace Owens like breaks it down like so well.
Well, and so that's the other part that I feel like maybe I'm being triggered by this story, because I feel like there's a much deeper part of this where it's like, if you remember, there was an enormous movement of people that wanted Alec Baldwin to be imprisoned for life because of that accident that happened on the film set. None of those people understood how film sets work and how you hand an actor a gun. The actor has no idea if it's a real gun or not. That's not the actor's job. But people wanted to blame him for it, and it's an enormous pile-on against the guy. Well, you go look at it, the people piling on are mad at him because he portrayed Trump on SNL. It's all Trump people that are against him fighting him. And the same type of people, because I follow bot activity on Twitter, it's the same group of people that did that same thing there, and then they got really loud with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. The same crew of bots is jumped on. Before this whole lawsuit happened, there was an enormous movement against Blake Lively. And it was so confusing because I'd never seen her do anything controversial before, and I couldn't understand it, of all this weird media coming out.
Very good reputation. She doesn't have a very good reputation. just in general, like
With-
working on
I know. Well, but so
Yeah.
with the
But
with
there's
the,
no
with the
excuse,
friend,
that's
like,
not how
well,
this
no,
started.
but
That's
what
not
I
how-
mean is she does
Yeah,
have a
that's
good
not how it
reputation in a different circle, like in
Yeah.
a certain circle, but in the circle of people that like 2 or 3 circles away from me, they've had good experiences with her. Like anyone who's worked with her that I know have never had a problem with her. A lot of this is, and it's going to sound weird, it's the same exact bot army because they're trying to get to Taylor Swift through Blake Lively. They can't get directly to Taylor Swift. And so it's a lot of this political Trump, anti-Trump, pro-Biden, these groups here. They have bot armies. A lot of them are overseas, and they're trying to shift the narrative. They're trying to get through Blake Lively to get to Taylor Swift. I know it's bizarre, but I'm just saying that's what the
Well,
bots
it's
are
working.
doing.
Well, it's working because Taylor Swift was just put out an article in Daily Mail this morning that was like, I can't be your friends anymore.
With Blake Lively?
Yeah.
Then it's not. Then maybe that's how she's getting free of it, because that's their ultimate target, is to get to Taylor Swift, and this is the fastest way. Is you have to tear this down and
like,
say
and
it's a fake
there's this whole
feminist,
thing-
basically. You know,
There's this
what they're
whole
trying to
thing-
do is saying, well, women say this stuff about men. And sorry, we have a
Bye,
delay here, so I don't mean to talk over
All
you.
roads lead to Taylor Swift.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's my
Or
sorry.
Obama.
Oh, Colby. Bye, Colby. Bye.
Okay, I'm going to
Colby.
leave, but
Oh,
I
wait,
do
wait.
want to say one thing. I do want to say with the Alec Baldwin thing is I don't believe that people were attacking him because he was the actor holding the gun, Kaleb. He's a producer. He was the
Well,
producer of the. So I
yes.
feel like they say, listen, as the producer, you had a sense of responsibility.
Yes.
That's my.
He
Yes,
should pay
of course.
money.
Somebody
He
died.
should pay
You
money
can't
to the
just go,
family.
Oh, I didn't know.
All the producers should share that. He was a producer. You're absolutely right, and he should pay money. But people were trying to get him put in jail for life for murder. Like, that's
Oh, I
politically
know.
motivated,
No,
guys.
so-
You're being ridiculous. Just he's got to,
Yeah,
but he does
yeah.
need to reimburse the family. You're right.
Okay. Bye,
So,
everyone.
Colby, do you have any shows coming up before I announce where everybody can find you?
I have a whole international tour coming up in Australia, New Zealand. So if we have any
Okay.
friends down under, please, please, please visit my website. Try to come visit, find me. I'd love to see you guys there.
ColbyRebel.com. And you can find her on Instagram as well, Colby Rebel Medium, TikTok, Colby Rebel Medium, and Facebook. You can find her everywhere. Just look for her and get a reading. She's awesome. And thank you again for coming on, calling out.
Nice to
And
meet you, Leah.
Oh, it's so nice to meet
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Colby. Thank
Oh,
you so much. Ugh,
My pleasure.
so
My
beautiful.
pleasure.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
I'm obviously gonna
Bye.
DM you
Bye,
later,
Robin.
okay?
Bye,
Bye,
Kaleb.
Colby.
Bye. Good to see you.
Caleb, I didn't know you were so heated up about this whole conversation.
No, it's the bot armies thing. I can see, and I have a whole list of bots that I track, and so anytime they're trying to push a story, I get really suspicious of it. And if they were all doing the same thing with Amber Heard, it's the same group of people that were about the Russia thing about Trump, and they jump on board these narratives and really push them because some organization is running it behind the scenes. And just, I wanted to also do a quick fact check. I might have said earlier something about how Taylor Swift and Blake Lively aren't friends anymore. That was fake news by Daily Mail. That was the other reports came out an hour or two ago that says she's standing by Blake. So that had,
Oh.
I was wrong on that.
Are the bots also pushing the Obama and Jennifer Aniston love story?
Yes. Yeah. It's the same group.
Is
Yeah.
this all fake? Is this all fake?
It's unfortunately a lot of stuff that goes viral like that is completely being pushed. It's fake bots. I have a whole list. I follow them, and that's how I can figure it out. Is I've been following certain bot accounts. They change their username, change their view, change what they look like, and they all retweet the same accounts, and they all talk about the same topics. And there's no possible way that they're all just doing it on their own. It's some sort of main source, either overseas or here, that is trying to influence policy. But that's usually the sign, is when all the bots jump on board and you go try to click through those bot accounts to just see who they are, and they're all saying and retweeting the same exact things, then yeah, it's not real. It's being artificial. But again, in Robin's defense, I don't know these people, so who knows? Like, I don't personally know them. I'm just saying this is my feeling from watching it, and how just from the internet side of when the bots start saying all the same thing, then I get suspicious.
I have a fun fact about Michelle Obama. It's not that she has a dick, I swear. But Robin will like this. She produces a dating show for people over 50. Have you seen that, Robin?
No.
It's called, we fell into it the other night. I can't remember the name of it, but it's all.
Oh wait,
older
yes,
people
yes,
dating.
I have seen it. Yeah, I have. I actually have. I haven't seen it yet though, but I think it is on Netflix.
And she's an EP on there. I was like, oh, is this what she's up to these days? And then I was thinking, maybe she's out looking for dates too. Drew was like mad at me for watching. Goes, what are you trying to tell me? You're gonna start dating or something? But no, it was good. It was kind of cute. You should watch it because Robin's a producer, so it might be up her alley. So I thought that was really cute though. But anyways, it said Michelle Obama, and I was like, that's weird. So that's what she's up to these days. She's just too busy.
Well, if the bots start pushing a story that Obama is now dating comedian Leah Lamarr, it's definitely true. It's true. I'm dating Obama.
You have that love shack out in the Palisades that just burned down.
A tragedy.
I know. But Robin, thank you for your insight into the whole Blake Lively story. I know this is your thing. And Kaleb, thanks for grabbing those clips for me very last minute. And also, I do owe you guys all roses because this week was a complete clusterfuck. I think my new granddaughter has thrown caution to the wind for me. So we had a new baby in the family on the 19th, and Colby thought it was tomorrow or today at 3. Robin and Kaleb thought it was tomorrow, but anyways, we made it here alive, and everybody showed up. So thank you, everybody, for making an appearance. And also, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
It was so great meeting you. And you were the hottest grandma I've ever seen.
I'm a grandma.
You're a gilf.
I just want to.
Grandma I'd like to have fun with.
I just want to say, whatever you want to believe. I was just so proud of our psychics and how good they are every week. And if ever you need good psychics and good life guidance, hit up our psychics because they're so amazing and they're the best in the business. They're so great. So I was just so proud of our show.
I used to have a thing called Cast of Clairvoyants on my website, the Calling Out with Susan Pinsky website. I don't know what happened to it. It kind of fell apart. It just the link doesn't work anymore. But maybe one day we'll have our Cast of Clairvoyants there, so you can just click on a link and find it when Kaleb has free time. I used to do that myself, but I forgot how. But and Robin, thank you for your production value for the show and everything you do. And Leah, you can find Leah at Leah Lamarr with 2 R's. She is, or Leah Lamarr. I don't know why I say Leah.
You're doing great.
I have a
your new
niece
grandma.
That's a Leia, but she's French. That's why I do that. Most of her social media is the same, which is nice. Yeah. I like that.
Thank
but
you.
It's not like a name that, is that easy, or not everybody has it. I did get my my granddaughter her domains though already, so that nobody grabs them before she's 13.
So smart.
I know. That was Kaleb's idea. And then
it's the only type of property she'll be able to afford.
Yeah, right. She performs in comedy shows internationally. And are you going to the comedy festival? Is that over?
There's the Knockouts Comedy Festival in March in New York, and I'll be doing that. And I'll be at the Santa Barbara Film Festival in 2 weeks from now in Santa Barbara. I have a film premiering there, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And I've got shows in DC this weekend, and I'll be back in New York next week for shows. So if you're in New York or DC,
Stand.
and I'm at the Stand, my favorite club.
That's a fun place. I was there last night looking at their podcast studio.
It's absolutely my favorite place.
Yeah, and they want us to be on their platform, but we were at this, the skanks were there. It was like the entire place was full of men.
Oh yeah.
I know there were guys were looking at me like, what is she doing here? But I was looking at the podcast
No, they were just looking at you thinking you were hot. That's what was happening.
No, but it's just I was the only woman in the entire place.
Mm-hmm.
Like the skanks we've been to the Skank Fest. Have you ever been to that?
I haven't been to Skank Fest
fun.
yet. Yeah.
We've been Colby and I actually did a podcast at the Skank Fest with Mark Norman.
Oh, I love Mark.
He was nice enough to do it. He'll do anything you want. You go,
He's the
Mark,
best.
will you be here? Yes. So we'll probably get him back on the show.
Yeah, great.
But anyway, she's your writer. She does everything. She's an actress, writer, and she has a man in England, and she may be coming to England soon. We do have some British fans sometimes, so you never know. Somebody might see this. But thank you for coming. And Brian O'Shea, once again, find him on the Daily Clout, and Colby Rebel at colbyrebel.com. And we are callingoutShow.com. You can find old episodes that date back to the 2012s. We've had a lot of podcasts and shows. They weren't really live streaming until recently, but if you want to see some more fun stuff that we've done over the years, it's very archival over there.
Very cool.
I started podcasting in 2011, so it's like I'm the OG. But Kaleb, once again, thanks for your hard work, and we'll see you next week. And we have no idea who's coming, so only God can tell us.
Colby could have told us. Yeah.
Colby might have been able.
Yeah.
The Wellness Company knows that taking charge of your family's healthcare is a top priority, and that is why they are constantly innovating to deliver the products and services to help you be rationally ready for an emergency. They've added a medical kit for kids to treat over 20 childhood illnesses: nausea, vomiting, allergies, asthma, bioterror, God forbid, croup ear infections, lice, and more. And you can also order the kids kit with an EpiPen. Carefully sourced, great price. If there's a risk of anaphylaxis for your kids, you want that EpiPen. That can be in all kits, each customized for a different purpose. It comes, of course, with a telemedicine consultation and a guidebook, and you can replenish the meds up to 2 years after the date of purchase. So go to drdrew.com/2WC for 10% off any medical emergency kit or supplements. That is drdrew.com/TWC.